Hi, I'm Hayet Ekeleme. Whilst I love a good filter, here's the thing. There are no filters in real life, let's be honest. This is real life, real people, and unfiltered stories. Together, we will inspire and help to change someone else's story. Welcome to Heartfelt with Hayet. Today is Anaya Kamara. I'm very excited about her interview. Anaya Kamara, welcome.
Thank you, Hayet.
How are you?
I am well. I'm grateful and I'm well. Thank you very much.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, my name is Anaya Kamara. As you said, I am a multi-award winning hairdresser and inspirational entrepreneur. And currently I have a platform, which is a mobile hairdressing platform, just sharing it with skilled hairdressers, barbers, and makeup artists to be able to reach the nation, their premises. So we are online, so we're not on the high streets. So we are unusual, so we're unique. So
on-demand service. Right. That's amazing.
That's right, we do, yes.
Amazing. So before we get started, you've got such a wonderful story and I can't wait for the world to hear it. Let's play a game. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. So the first game is Would You Rather? I've got 3 questions for you. Would you rather live a life in the wilderness or a life in jail?
I will go for a life in jail.
Why would you go for a life in jail?
Well, at least I don't have to pay for the meals. I don't have to get worried. I'll still get fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But in the wilderness, there's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's
it's just
very
dry
true.
Sand and wind, and you could just die.
One. At least in jail, you get somebody to talk to.
At least you can talk to someone. You can fight with someone. You can eat. Yeah,
I agree. Would you rather be ignored or would you rather be criticized?
I'd rather be criticized. I hate to get ignored. I don't like to get ignored. I'd rather you criticize me so I can take it and move on. But ignoring me, I found it beyond disrespect. You can ignore the dead, but not somebody who's alive.
Wow.
That's why I hate it. I don't like it. But you can criticize me. And I can always learn from your criticism.
Good answer. And last but not least, would you rather have power to erase minds or power to read minds?
Power to read mind, of course.
What do you want to read?
It can be a blessing and a curse but at the same time, it will guide you as well. Because if I'm sitting down with someone having lunch with them, and I could read their mind, and they're saying in their mind that, oh, if I could just step out and go to the toilet, they're just gonna drop like a poison in my drink. At least I know.
Oh, that's
true. I know. But the bad side of it, I'm losing them because now I know that, oh my God, this is what this friend or this family is really like. So you want to kill me? At least I know. So I can know how I can tread with them.
It's like a bittersweet moment, isn't it?
It's a bittersweet, but it's good to read minds than to erase minds.
Okay, great. Okay, game number 2. I've got 2 cards here with me. I've got card A and B. Which are you choosing? A or B?
Card A.
Okay, what questions would you like? 3, 4, or 5?
4, please.
4. Is it ever right to do the wrong thing?
It's not ever right to do the wrong thing. No, it's not.
Why?
First of all, it's wrong. So why will it be right? You're doing something wrong.
Okay, let me give you an example. You're pregnant, your husband is speeding you to get to the hospital on time and he breaks the law. He's doing the wrong thing for the right reason. So in that case, would you say it's wrong to do the right thing? Is it right to do the wrong thing?
Then again, it depends. If it's a red light, he's gonna have to wait. And then it depends again on the type of road we're in. It could be like those crossover roads where it's really dangerous to even be the traffic light, or you can just get smashed by a lorry coming from the side on either side and you can't see, because it's wrong to speed, trying to break the speed and trying to just go run over the traffic light. It's all wrong. So
interesting concept. So that's the end of our game. I'm excited to get to know you, or I already know you. I'm excited for the world to get to know your story. So tell us, where did your story begin?
Wow, my story is an interesting one.
Yeah,
As you know, I am from the beautiful country, Sierra Leone, the land of minerals and diamonds.
that's it.
And I came from two Sierra Leonean parents, so they're both late now. Um, for some reason, their marriage didn't last. So, but as God will know what He was doing, I came through them, and I was born in Kent, Chatham, Kent, United Kingdom. At the time, my dad was studying his engineering, and cut a long story short, after his scholarship, he went back home with my mom, myself, and my older brother. So my older brother was a year and some month, while I was just 8 months old. So I went back to Freetown at 8 months old,
Oh,
you know.
amazing.
Yeah, so I grew up in Freetown, and I was a bit of a rebel though. I was a rebel. Even though I'm a good child, I wasn't like into clubbing and all these things, smoking, drinking, never, you know. But I was a rebel because when I want something, I just put my foot down and want it that way, you know. So and it was one of those things that my dad, I kind of like start causing trouble. You know, I was like, my dad, I said, I'm tired of this country. I just want to go back. You need to send me back to United Kingdom. So after my 20th birthday, I came to the United Kingdom. I was staying at my dad's cousin's house, and I started going to college because my dad wanted me to study. Well, you know, African parents, he wanted me to be um, a medical doctor
Yeah.
or an engineer like him because with the way they were thinking back then, um, when you go into school, you either become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or a disgrace.
Oh,
One or the other.
okay, or a disgrace.
Yes, yes. So you have to become a medical doctor or a lawyer or an
A
engineer or an
disgrace.
accountant. Otherwise, you're a disgrace. You know how African parents think,
That's
you know.
funny.
So to get away from all that rah 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 rah. So because I was really, really talented into the area of arts. So anything creative, it comes to me naturally. You know,
Yeah.
even hair. No one taught me how to do hair. I
Yeah.
just look at women doing hair and I just picked it up just like that. Was very good in the arts and the science as well. But the difference between the two, the science, I will really have to study, do research and memorize and etc. But with art, it's
It came
naturally. I
very
don't have to
naturally.
study, I don't have to read. It just flows, you know. But to not to fight with my dad, especially him, because my mom was flexible. She didn't care which way I go, art or science. But my dad was like, no, 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 you
Like
have to be
one direction.
yes. So I said, so I have to choose. Sorry, I have to choose science when the time came, so that I don't have to have trouble with him.
So, you had a bit of a rocky relationship with your dad at some point because you
Yeah,
wanted kind of to do your own thing. It was like
I
a
wanted to do
childhood
my own thing.
rebellion.
Yes, that's right. I really wanted to do my own
So
thing.
why didn't you go the full way then? Why didn't you just decide to branch into art straight away? Why did you go down the route that he wanted?
I was under his roof like my teenage years, till I turned 19, going on 20. I
Okay.
was still in his house, so it's not like when you're in Europe and you can just rebel and say, "Well, I'm gonna get my own flat,"
Yeah.
you
But
know.
you said when you
And
came here, you
it
didn't
was when I came here, but even when I came here, I still enrolled and I got my master's still in computer science. So it was information systems development.
yeah,
And by then, obviously, I've had experience. So I made my dad happy.
that's good.
So he was really happy. He
That's
was really happy. And when I graduated, when I was graduating, it was a time that my best friend basically upgraded our friendship into a relationship.
okay. So hold on.
And
So hold on.
yeah,
Your best friend.
yeah, at the time
How did you two meet? How did you
we,
become
we
best
met in
friends?
church because I was coming from an Islamic background,
Right.
but my friends at the time in the UK they were all Christians.
Okay.
So I was just hanging around a bunch of them until one day I met a lady from Sierra Leone as well who was
Yeah.
evangelizing in Stratford. So she invited me, and I was only interested because she was from Sierra Leone because we were talking Creole. I started going to the services, and then I kind of liked because they had a lot of young people like my age at the time. So
Yeah.
I would find it interesting because I was thinking, oh, I thought church was for old people. When I got there, they were young, they were youthful, and I
Yeah.
just fell in love with all that. And then I decided to put myself through to the Bible study before I could get baptized.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my friend who became my best friend, and then eventually we got engaged. That's where we met,
That's
you
nice.
know. So by the time I was graduating, our friendship, we were friends for about 2 years and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he asked me out to be his girlfriend, and a month after that, he upgraded it that he really wanted to, settle down, and then he told his parents, and his parents said, well, you can't just call her parents on the phone because they're in Sierra Leone. You can't call them on the phone and tell them you want to marry their daughter on the phone. That's not how we brought you up. You're going to have to go there in person with her so you can meet them and do it with respect.
And is he Sierra Leonean as well?
He's not Sierra Leonean. He was born here, but his dad is from St. Lucia and his mom is from Guadeloupe.
Okay.
So, so we left for Freetown, and when we got there, it took my dad a whole hour to come out of the room to come and greet us.
Wow.
Because when he heard that he was in a Sierra Leonean, he thought that, oh, I've brought a Jamaican in his house. He wasn't happy. It took him a whole hour, I'm telling you.
Did he know that you were going there to meet him?
Of course, we told him, yeah.
But he still refused to come
We
out.
just said, "Oh, I'm coming. It's a surprise." I said, "I'm coming with a surprise." So he was just, "No, no, no, I don't like surprises. You have to tell me what's going on." Then I hint him, but he didn't like it.
Mm.
So then my dad came out. The man came out.
Oh.
He came out. When he came out, I didn't even look at him. He just came to me straight, and then he hugged me to the side and everything and blah blah. And then later on, I introduced him to him. He just greeted me, hello, and I introduced, and then few hours later, I just said, as he said, get to know my dad. So him and my dad, they went out somewhere to go and talk. And an hour later, they came back. They were best friends. And I'm like, what did you
Wow.
do? What did you do
What
to him?
happened? What changed?
Like, you know why? I guess he discovered that our relationship was real because we were not sleeping together. We decided, since we were Christians, that we're not gonna date for long. We're just gonna do the right thing so we could get married. So he was shocked. He thought that probably we said we're Christian, but then we're busy doing foolish stuff all over the place. That's what he thought. So he was so shocked when he says, "Listen, he said your daughter is very rare. I have not even kissed her. I mean, we hug, we go out, we eat, we study and we watch movies, but we don't even sleep in each other's houses. That's just how we are." So my dad was really shocked. So, and he also found out he had a good job. He's a graduate. He's also into the computer science. So you
Wow,
see,
look at that. It's all a win.
yes, because he studied engineering as well, and they were best friends. So, but the following day, it was my mom's late dad's 40th day. So my dad was going to a peacekeeping tour in Port Loko. That's his hometown. My mom's hometown is Lomsa, so Lomsa is not far from Port Loko. And so that day we left. So it was my dad, myself, my fiance, and the driver. And then we gave my dad's friend, best friend at the time, a lead. So we went to Port Loko first. We dropped them there. My dad said, "Okay, you can take them to that's us. Told the driver to take us to my mom's hometown so we can go and witness my grandfather's memorial." So we got there, and my grandmom was alive at the time. He met him. She was so happy. He just won everybody's heart at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody just loved him. And then a few hours later, my dad came to join us. So he's already finished the peacekeeping talk, him and his friend. They
Right.
came and joined us, and we did the memorial. It was about getting late. My dad said, "Okay, we need to get back to Freetown tonight." you know. So we left. I said goodbye to my mom, my grandma. Then we were traveling back to Freetown. And then we started having problems with the car that we were in. And we break down like two times. And my dad had to, we went back to Port Loko because my dad knew a good mechanic. And the mechanic tried to fix the car.
So
And
so
then
you were on your journey leaving one town
Lonta, yeah.
And then you were going back into the main city.
Yes, but
Okay.
but we but when we left, it didn't even take 10 minutes. We started having problems with the car. It's
Right.
like the car will be going and it will stop. So my dad told the driver to try and get us to Port Locker, which is not far,
Right.
because he had like he knew a good mechanic.
Yeah.
So we got there, they tried to fix the car and the car was working. So we continued the journey. And
Did
I
they
think
say what was wrong with the car?
not for some reason, it was just stopping on the road for some reason,
Yeah.
and then it happened again the second time. And this time around, the driver came out, was trying to look at the car and everything. By this time now, I was sitting in the middle because I was sitting at the back directly behind my dad. We gave a lift to my dad's best friend, Mr. Wuri. So he now sat directly behind my dad. So I have to move in the middle. My fiance was on my left. So the second broke down. It was just past after 7 in the evening, but then there was no street lights, so it was kind
Yeah.
of dark when you're traveling the provinces, in Sierra Leone. And so the driver was looking at the car, and then he managed to get the car to work again,
Yeah.
you know. So we continued the journey, and I remember because I was beginning to fall asleep, so I rest my head on my fiance's shoulder. I remember my dad was shouting at the driver saying, "Oh, didn't you see that?" Because I think he kind of like missed to hit a stone. And it's
Okay.
not like a car was coming in the opposite direction. It's like it was one of those days where it was only our car on the road. There was not even a stationary vehicle coming on the opposite side.
What was happening?
I remember my dad shouting at the driver,
Mm.
saying that, "Didn't you see the stone?" It was like he's driving, but he was almost trying to drive off the road and his eyes were wide open. So my dad was shouting and said, "Didn't you see the stone? Or didn't you see that? Why are you trying to drive on the road? Why are you driving somewhere else when your eyes are open on the wheel?" It wasn't asleep, it was fully awake. I was even saying to him, "Mr. Silla, are you okay?" He said, "Yes, yes, I'm fine." I said, "Okay, okay." And the third hit that he hit, even my fiance was now saying to him, "Ah, is he not seeing this guy? Is this guy not seeing what he's doing?" you know. So by the fourth time now, he was hitting the back of the trailer that was even parked off the road because I saw it coming. That was when I screamed, "Jesus!" Well, it was too late. The iron bars at the back of the trailer smashed the windscreen, and I think that was what hit my dad. It was the irons hanging at the back of it that they smashed the windscreen because of the impact, and some of them hit him on the neck, the side, and his blood just splashed. And because I remember him when it was happening, he tried to, as a parent instinct, because he was trying to do his arm like that to cover me because I was at the back and his head down. So that was the position I still remember when the iron bars hit him, because that was how he was, like, trying to just cover his child. And it happened like a dream. I remember I thought that my whole body was on fire. I screamed and I was stuck. The right side of me was stuck just behind him, between him and his friend, because his friend was sitting directly behind him.
Wow.
So my fiance was the first who came and started shouting. And then I said to him, I said, "Oh, pull me out, pull me out, pull me out." So he just pulled me out. By that time, I didn't even know I was bleeding. We just started running into someone's plantation like mad people, and people came out of the town, they were screaming, and then the people noticed that we were running, and then they they run after us to catch us.
Did they think that you were thieves or?
But no, no, it was the shock and the trauma. And another thing, I thought the car was even gonna catch fire. I thought it was gonna just explode. I thought it was gonna explode, you know. And we just ran into someone's plantation, and they happened to go us back. So we came back to Sada. I was now just screaming. I say, "I hope my dad is okay. I hope my dad is okay." And my fiance. And then I remember my bag is in the car that has our documents, our passport, and etc. and some cash. And I said to him, "Oh, go get it back. Go get it back. Go get it back." So when he went to go get it back, that's when he realized that didn't make it, and he must have just um, passed on the spot. And his friend obviously was screaming at the back. He was bleeding. I think he had a fractured skull. The driver was unconscious.
Oh.
And he came back and was telling me, "Oh, your dad didn't make it. He didn't make it." So I started screaming, and then we have to go and get his phone, and we started calling our family. And that was when, like, the news, it was looking back that evening, and the police arrived. Some of my cousins came, even my brothers drove, they came. And the news has already gone around saying that 4 people died, including me. Another news was going around the whole place saying I'm in coma, and all sorts. So my younger brother came, and then he was the one who carried me. I realized my vein came out of my leg. I was bleeding. I had blood all over me from my head all the way down, because this side of me was directly behind his seat of the car. So because I was in the middle. So this side of me, the left side was never affected. It was the right side. And even up to now, sometimes I could feel my side, you know. And and I was in the police car, so they were trying to rush me to the hospital. And that was when I started fighting, because there was no light, it was still dark. And we got to the hospital, me and my fiance and my brother, because my other brother was left behind with the family members trying to, people were trying to just get my dad's body out of the car, and etc. And when I got to the hospital, there was no lights. Hyatt, it was lantern. It was
What
a
do you mean?
lantern.
No electricity?
There was no electricity. It was, the lantern that you have to, yes, the traditional lantern. That was what the doctor and the nurse held to stitch me. And I was so furious. I started just cussing everybody, cussing the country, just saying I came with good intentions. Look at what happened to me. All you people here are wizards, witches. There's not even no light. How can you see what you're doing? I was just fighting. And then the doctor was saying, call her fiance, please talk to her. Are you people Christian? He said, just talk to her, talk to her. So they managed to stitch me up.
So you just encountered a very,
Mm,
very traumatic accident
mm,
where you saw your dad
mm-hmm,
instantly die on the spot.
mm.
From there, you were injured, you left the car, you didn't even know that you were injured, you were just running
I was just running.
because you thought that the car was on fire.
I thought the car was gonna catch fire.
You left there
Yeah,
to be rushed over to the hospital where they
yeah,
said that your vein had come out and you were bleeding.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
had to stitch you.
They just like punch it back in the flesh. You just punch it. It was wow. Looking back now, all I can say is God was still there in the midst of the evil. God was still there,
Did they
because
give you anesthetic?
no, I don't need. I don't think so. I
Wow.
don't even think so. Because I remember they were holding a lantern. The tradition. There was no light, no electricity. I
Wow.
was I was just cussing everybody. I was swearing, and I was so angry. I was cussing at the whole thing, the police, the doctors, the hospital,
Had it
the mind.
sunk in right there what had happened to you?
No, no. I think that night was when I was even beginning to experience, because of the shock, the memory loss. So one of the housemaid who was taking care of us, when she came to the hospital to see how I was doing, so she was talking to me, and by then I didn't even recognize her. I was saying to her, "Why are you crying? I'm not dead. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm not dead. Why are you crying?" That was what I was saying. You know. And then we went back to Uncle Whitey's place, and I have to take a bath. And it was then it occurred to me, when I was having my bath, bottles were just dropping off my body, from the crown of my head, in my hair, all the way to my. I was even seeing glasses of bottles passing on my skin, all over me.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. It was even the night that I was even afraid of myself. There was literally, you find bottles in my hair. They were dropping down. There was bottles passing on my body, my skin, and they were just falling off.
When
Came
you
out, and
say
I had it.
bottles, do you mean glass?
I think it was the glass, the windscreen that smashed. But then it was all over me, inside my hair and all over my body. So I was washing, it was all just coming off. So after that, so that was the first night my fiance had to come and sleep with me, just to hold me on the bed, you know. And in the morning, wow, the family home was crowded with more than 500 people. There was chaos. People didn't believe that it happened. People were looking for me to explain to them what happened. But at the same time now I couldn't walk. They have to carry me around, you know. So we went there with the intention for a wedding introduction, and the following day it got stolen. It's now a different story. And by the third day, they have to bury my dad. I was still there. He was given a state funeral, and I was there with my limping leg going out to my dad's funeral.
What were you thinking? Did you have any thoughts?
I'm hired. I really, looking back now, I thought it was all a dream. I thought it was all a dream. Like I was supposed to be celebrating with him and family and not this, you know. And it was just, it was painful, but at the time when it happened, it did seem like why would something like that happen? I mean, people leave abroad to go home to see families and parents, nothing happened to them. I just came, I didn't even took like 48 hours. And this was like I've been in this was like I've been in the UK for 9 years, and I went back just because my friend proposed he wanted to marry me, and it didn't take 48 hours. This happened. So part of me was blaming now myself, saying if I knew I shouldn't have come, I should have just made him just talk over the phone and just continue as we're here. So sort of thoughts were just going through my mind, you know. And after the funeral, we went back home, and aunties, my dad's cousins, were all looking for me. Were asking what happened. Was the driver speeding? Did you guys collide with another car? And I just explained to her as it is. The fifth day, my right leg was changing color. It was looking very ugly and very dark.
Wow.
My mom got scared and said, "You people have to go quick,
Mm.
you know, so that I can have." Because remember, there was no electricity when they were botching me up, you know. So we left Freetown. We didn't even tell people. We just told my mom and my sister. They came with us to
Mm.
the airport, and we left. We didn't even tell the rest of the family because because of what happens, we didn't know that, oh my God, we came for good intention, this happened, so we don't know who is who. So we left.
When you say you don't know who is who, were you suspicious that maybe somebody did this?
100%. I was suspicious that this can't be real. I think there's a foul play somewhere, you know, because it didn't we didn't even take 48 hours. We got there, we left London the 20th of January 2006. The accident happened on the 22nd of January, and we got the early hours Saturday morning. I think it was definitely jealousy was one of the things. Jealousy,
Why?
envy.
Why were they jealous?
Um, I've completed my master's degree. I've got tons of industrial qualifications. I've found myself a good man. Everything was just good, 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 good. So I found it like it probably like raised an alarm, like probably maybe the others or whoever didn't want to seem happy, doesn't want to seem happy now for finally okay, something good came out of whatever he has been through, because that was
Because
really,
you
really
said,
happy.
yeah, because you said that you were a rebellious child, and so
Yes,
to see that
yes.
your
So
life
to
was
see that
transformed for
everything was
better.
good, good, good. Yeah. Yeah. So we
So,
strongly believe that.
and I, you said that you believe that then. Do you still believe
Yes.
that now?
I still believe that his life was cut short. I still believe that it was cut short. And there is still some elements of witchcraft. There's still some elements of witchcraft. Like I said, other relatives from abroad go there many times, no problem. I just came only one time, and they didn't even allow me to even rest, like to really rest and walk around my own country. And the next thing you know is
Yeah.
it's
So,
trouble.
Anaya, you left Sierra Leone really in a bitter state. You went there for
Mm,
something sweet, and it didn't end
mm,
up like that. You
mm.
returned to the UK. What was life like when you returned to the UK?
When I returned to the UK, oh, it's everything was upside down. Everything just became upside down in a matter of months. So at least when I came back, at least we still have some grace. I'll call it grace period now, because with I was when now the love between me and my ex grew, and we couldn't stay away from each other. And I even moved into his parents' house for 2 weeks. They were taking care of me, and I was basically family. They didn't even allow me to go to stay in my flat. They like, no, 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 she has to come and stay here for at least 2 weeks so that we could really take care of her. And his mom used to check with me every day, the dad, his sister, his brother, So, and our relationship really grew. And then we started, planning for the wedding.
Now, you
You
said
know,
that your leg had been going black.
yes.
What happened when you got here?
When we came back, we went back to King George's Hospital where the stitch was open and it was done again. And I remember the nurse was so angry. The nurse was so angry. The GP was so vexed.
Why were the doctors upset?
They were upset because of the way they stitched my leg. I mean, it was bulged. They just bulged me up. It was
Mm,
almost like an illegal way of stitching someone.
wow.
Yeah, I have to go through therapy as well. I went through therapy, and I was so grateful at the time. My previous church, the pastors and his wife, they were so amazing. I used to have this was when I went back now to my flat. I had sisters coming to stay overnight just to pray with me, keep me company.
How were you mentally?
Mentally, I wasn't okay at the time. I think what kept me going because our love grew, it was kind of like keeping me going. But if you leave me alone and I just get lost in space, if you talk to me, it won't get in. I won't even realize you're talking to me. Because remember, I also had like the memory loss. I think it was when the memory loss actually even kicked in 4 months after. I think that was one of the things that started affecting our relationship
Mm.
because he'd be talking to me. I just look at him. I'm not responding. So it was one of the things because I was thinking, I still had in me saying that, oh, I think it's my fault. It's my fault that I went home. I shouldn't have gone home. So I was blaming myself. Church council. So there was just a lot of they were allowing me to just talk, you know, bring things out. And obviously, there was a lot of prayers and a lot of encouragement, which I was really grateful for. So that really helped me. But then towards the end of the year, my ex at the time, I guess him being a man, he went and do the unthinkable.
What's the
Um,
unthinkable?
well, the things that men do, and basically the relationship, we decided to just dissolve the relationship,
So he was
because
seeing another woman.
I think he did mess around. He did. So, and to be
How
free.
did you find out?
Well, I didn't find out. He said it because we had a talk about it. Because by then, um, I had a memory loss, and but I could still reason. And he said he just wanted to go. He wanted to be free. So I don't have to force him. you know. So I let him. But then there were other factors surrounding the breakup because he wasn't stable with staying in a place of worship because he was just moving me from church to church, and I didn't like it. It was like all of a sudden everything was just scattered. It was one thing that was just perfect, good before. All of a sudden, it was just moving me up. Let's go to this church. I said, but let's just stay here because there was a church I was going to. Let's just stay here. I'm comfortable here.
So
So
let's just take this into account, right? So
mm,
he's obviously taking you out there to go and marry you.
mm,
Second day, he's also been in an accident.
mm,
He's come back to a fiance who has lost his memory. Do you think that
mm.
he suffered a degree of trauma or mental health as well at the time?
I think yes, absolutely yes. I think he went through something as well, and
Which would explain some of the changes that was happening from his side.
yes. But the thing is that for women can talk easily. Men will keep it in
Mm,
because I remember the therapeutic sessions me and him were going to. I was doing more interaction, and he just sat like everything is cool, but I knew that he wasn't okay. And you can't force people if they don't want to talk.
yeah.
He seems like, okay, yeah, well, I'm going to get married. All he wants, I want to get married. And I'm like, I'm not. okay to get married straight away. This just happened to us. Let's just give it like some months. But he was just like trying to rush everything. And I'm like, can you just see I'm not even okay? As a
So
result of it.
when he came to tell you that he was seeing someone else,
Mm.
what happened
Well,
to
he didn't tell me like he's seen someone
it?
else.
Okay.
Um, I even know the person. I just knew that he was messing around with the person
Okay.
because many a times when me and him would go out, he would call the person to come, and I was finding it very strange. Like, okay, I'm gonna be here. Why would you be calling somebody else like that to be here
Mm,
when I'm here? And then when they arrive, kind of like show more attention to them. So I was finding it like very funny. I confronted the situation, and to hear him said he just wants to be free.
so talk to me a little bit about what your world looked like at that point in time.
Oh, at that time, my world was upside down, to be honest, Hyatt.
Yeah.
It was upside down. I felt like a failure.
Mm,
There was this stigma as well going around the family, and people who know me, they thought that maybe I had a bad luck, or
mm,
it wasn't nice at the
mm,
time, and sometimes I'm even ashamed, like when there's family functions, I don't even want to show up because it's like for sure you're going to be the topic in that
mm,
building. It was a sad time.
mhm,
It was really, really a sad time.
mm.
And how I pulled through, thank God for sisters who were really genuine in the Lord. The business group I was with as well at the time, which was Project International, they helped as well. They contributed and they just pulled me up and just helped me to get my mind focused and get busy. One of the things I was doing was doing hair because apart from IT, what I know how to do, remember, when it comes to creative stuff, it comes naturally.
Yeah.
So while I was sitting down with my injured leg, I'll be plaiting. It was hair. When I finish, it go out, word of mouth, and it just spread like wildfire. And that's how Anaya Hair and Beauty was born.
Wow.
So I took it seriously. I went to, at the time I was on incapacity benefits. So
Mm.
I told the advisor that, listen, I've got a talent here. I can do hair. And it looks like it's going to become something. So they enrolled me on a 4 days intensive course with him.
Sorry, so you said you were on incapacity benefit. That's because your leg.
Because of my leg, yeah.
What had happened to it?
The stitches and the injuries.
Yeah.
I was really affected because I was unable to walk properly for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So for 2 years, yeah, I was on incapacity benefit,
Right.
and I just went in for it. So I did it the right way. So I went and took this 4 days intensive course with HMRC on starting
Yeah.
up a business, bookkeeping, etc. When it finishes, I did a website for myself and a database, and I started printing leaflet myself and
So
started.
wait, you just said you did the website yourself.
Yes. So
So your
thanks to my
master's
dad.
degree.
Thanks to my dad, the boss, the master's degree, the corporate side of things,
Yeah.
and everything just fall in place. And
Mm.
then I didn't stop there. I went to college, Newham College, where I studied all women's hair type. So I had a diploma level 2 and 3. When
Mm.
I went to Newham College, I enrolled on level 1. Level 1, I only lasted for a day. And they
Mm.
promoted me the next day to level 2 because they realized that, oh, she knows how to do hair. She can't be level 1. she, knows,
Really?
she
It
knows
was
what
that
she's
good.
doing. Like they were giving the assessment, and I was just like, pum, pum, pum. And I was like, done. And I was like, have you done hairdressing before? I said,
Wow.
well, yeah, I've got my own. Get my own clients. So you're advanced for level 1. You need to go to level 2. So yeah, and while at level 2, level 3, I basically started working at the backstage, fashion shows, doing hair, Caucasian hair, all hair types. After college, it wasn't too long because I was still building my client base.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long, so I met somebody who got to know about my story, and then they invited me to an event. I got there and I met a whole lot of people running different organizations, and my
Yeah.
story was like I was even scared. I didn't want to say anything about what happened to me. I
Yeah.
find it like, oh my God, I'm just going to embarrass myself. But the word went out, and some lady that owns some organization went and nominated me for an inspirational award because of the story, and I was
Wow.
contacted. And when it was time for the award, which is on the award,
Oh,
and that was it. From that award, now all other doors began to open. Starting getting invitation for radio interviews, being on magazine interviews, and then I started getting nominated for more awards, and I've won many, as you know.
yeah.
And I think around 2007, 2016, the ending, that's when I decided to move from being a solo hairdresser to
Yeah.
having the platform.
You say a platform, what does that look like?
A platform is basically allowing other hairdressers, makeup artists, and barbers to just showcase their skill, and they get paid 80%, which is very high compared to a
Mm.
salon. So I'm grateful I had that kind of mindset, because um, not everyone can think like that. Because some people might be thinking, well, well, these are my clients. I work hard for you. Why would I want to share them with
So
somebody
you
else?
haven't only just built something for yourself, but you built, as you said, a platform for others to share with you.
For others to share with me. Absolutely.
Wow, that is truly
Absolutely.
inspirational. How does that feel like from such a devastating, traumatic kind of past to being able to win awards and become this new person? How
Mm.
does that feel?
It's still painful, but
Mm.
the good thing is that something good came out, because I could have gone the other way. Like what happened to me, I could have gone the other. Maybe I'll just decide not to even bother with life, not to even try and do something, not to like pick up myself, or maybe work on my confidence, or maybe grow. I could have gone the other way. But just imagine if it was the opposite. Maybe I'm in a psychiatric home, or
Mm.
maybe I'm just a junkie, because these are the things that people
Yeah.
can just decide to. Because I
Mm.
even lost my old flats in the process. I was homeless, you
Mm.
know. I just thought that, what is all these things happening to me? But I decided that, you know what, I'm not going to give up. I am just going to change my story. And to be
Wow.
honest, I am glad I did. I am so glad I don't have to apologize to anyone. I am so glad I worked on my confidence. I picked up myself, and from sleeping in someone's couch, I got myself right in W1 Central London. I got
Amazing.
myself a studio flat, and then it's just sometimes I just say, wow, Anaya, you know what, you're a
Mm.
superwoman. It was a decision, though it was painful, but I'm glad.
Do you think
I'm
that there
glad
is
I did.
anything else that contributed to that apart from a decision that you made?
My faith definitely helped. It did.
Mm.
It helped because I took the action.
Yeah.
I took action. Yes, I mean, come on. I mean, if you type me on Google now, I mean, everywhere. You're gonna see multi-award
Yes,
winning.
Anaya. So, Anaya,
Entre-
tell me about some of the greatest achievements under the Anaya Hair and Beauty.
wow. I think
Mm.
one of the highlight, it was when I was on stage at the Afro Hair and Beauty Live.
Right.
I think you were there as well that
Yeah.
time, when I made it to the top 6 Afro hairdressers in the
Yeah.
UK.
I
It
saw.
was just one of the highlights, because I remember Black Beauty, I contacted them when I started doing my mobile hairdressing, like way back in 2010, 11. I
Mm.
wanted to get featured in their magazine, and they rejected me. They were dissing my picture, they were dissing my hairstyle. It wasn't good. And then to see them now on that day, putting me on that stage, that was a highlight,
That's
you
amazing.
know.
So, rejection played quite a big part of your life.
Mm.
What would you say to those going through rejection right now?
Rejection, I would say, when something or someone rejects you, it's not because you're not fit, or it's not because um you're beneath them. I think when
Mm.
someone rejects you, basically what they're saying, they are scared of what you carry.
Wow.
Yeah. When
Wow.
someone rejects you, they're scared of what you carry, because look at it. I mean, even the people back then who rejected me, most times they can't even look at me in my eyes if I bumped into them. And the great way to handle rejection
Mm.
is basically just check your inner self,
Mhm.
and then use your power. That's the best way you get rid of rejection.
You said earlier that you used to put your head down when you would see family because you were carrying so much shame.
Mm.
After all your achievement, what was that like when you saw those same people?
It was really, really good. It was such a good feeling. It
Mm.
was such a good feeling. And I realized that there is still God. There is still God. Just like what I said earlier, when I could have gone the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to change
Mm.
the situation, and I'm glad I did.
And how
Thank
did your
God.
mum handle your new level of fame and
Oh,
glory?
mom was red, bless her heart, bless her soul, where she is right now. Mom was just laughing everywhere she was going. Mom was grateful. I know deep down she was very happy. She was very happy.
And I'm sure that your dad would have been looking down on you proud as well.
Oh, dad is proud wherever that is.
Mhm.
Dad is proud.
Yeah.
That is a proud,
Although
proud
you didn't completely
man.
go the way that he wanted you've been
Mm.
able to juggle both and make it all combined and work.
But that's what I've done. I mean, what he wanted me to do is that's what made it so unique. Everything is been um organized in such a way. It's got an IT element,
Mm.
it's got an engineering element with it at the same time. So it basically just blend beautifully. Because otherwise, if I would have done it the way how everybody's doing as a mobile hairdresser, I won't get to the level that I am. But because I
Mm.
incorporate that computer science, engineering at the
Yeah.
back as well, and that's why most times when new customers come through my website and they book and they get like SMS, they get like email, they get their feedback system, da, da, da. Most times the reviews are like, I mean, how can a mobile hairdresser be this organized? And it's like,
What would you say to young people watching this right now whose parents are saying the same thing to them, lawyer, doctor, or failure?
yeah, I would say, listen, obey your parents. They are
Mm,
always 1000% right.
mm,
1000% right. Your parents will never lead you astray. At the
mm,
time, I thought my dad just wanted me to be like him, but
mm,
I obeyed, even though later on, I went into the creativity side, but I still used what he wanted me to do, and just look at the difference. Just look at it. The marketing, the system, the plan, the future plans, everything, still going back to computer science, to engineering. So I
amazing.
would say to young people that obey your parents, but at the
Mm,
same time, don't neglect your talents, your gifts, or your skill. Follow their steps, just obey them, because you're not going to regret, because you can still
mm,
become that biochemist, you can still become that pilot, you can still become that doctor, and at the same time, your your cake business, or your designing business, or your whatever business you're in is going to be at a level where it's just going to be so unique.
yeah.
Don't be.
Advice, Anaya, would you give to somebody right now facing depression or feelings of failure and loss?
My advice is get busy. Get busy. Get busy with yourself. Get busy with something that you're good at. It could be your passion. It could be at like a gift. Get busy. Just bury yourself in it. Just get so busy and don't even listen at who is saying this and who is saying that. Get busy with yourself, and you discover that the depression will run away. The bad feeling, everything will just disappear by the time you start seeing results and achievements. All that doesn't even matter now anymore, because I mean, depression will look at you and will run away, or feeling pity for yourself will just run away,
Mm.
because you've transformed yourself. Your inner power is out there now.
That's good. That's good advice. And finally, last but not least, where can we find you on your social handles? Where can we find you on the
Oh,
site?
you can find me on Facebook as Anaya Hair and Beauty. I'm on Twitter as Anaya Hair and Beauty. I'm on Instagram as Anaya Hair and Beauty. Instagram, you will show up as official Anaya Hair and Beauty. Google Anaya Hair and Beauty. Email Anaya Hair and Beauty at gmail.com. And that's it.
It's been such an honor to have you on Heartfelt with Hayet. I feel like the privilege is mine to have you on the show, being able to be so open and honest with your story. And I really do hope that as somebody is watching this, that really they'll take one thing from it, and if there is one thing that I can take from this is that there is hope.
Mm,
There is hope, and
mm,
your story is so inspirational. And like, I just want to say, you know, congratulations to you with all your achievements. And
Oh, thank
I
you.
do pray you the very, very best because you deserve
Thank
it.
you.
You're
Thank you so much.
beautiful inside and out.
Oh, beautiful. You too. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I was looking forward to it, and I can't wait for it to be out there for the whole
Yeah,
world to
I can't
hear
wait for
this
it
amazing
to be out
story.
there. Amazing. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you. And yeah, I'll catch up with you soon.
So thank you so much for your
And
time.
thank you.
Thank you so much.